dalam bentuk Excel. Bentar. Oke, Bapak Ibu sudah terlihat presentasinya?
Ya, jelas Pak.
Oke ya. Oke, jadi untuk lulus Sertos, rumusnya ini. NGB sama dengan 2NAP tambah 2NKP tambah NPS tambah NPI tambah NPA bagi 7. Nilainya harus lebih dari 4. Kalau 4 persis masih gagal, karena harus lebih dari 4 kriterianya. Oke. Sekarang NAP itu apa gitu ya? NAP ini kualifikasi akademik dan jabatan akademik. Jadi di sini kalau dilihat di tabelnya, kalau dosen posisi sekarang jabatan akademiknya asisten ahli, masih S2 berarti skornya 4. Kalau S3 skornya 5. Kalau lektor S2 5, lektor S3 6, dan seterusnya. Ini untuk NAP ya. Jadi NAP yang di awal ini yang pertama jabatan fungsional. Jadi kalau misalnya di Bapak Ibu yang dosen sekarang bisa dicek jabatan fungsionalnya apa gitu. Kalau misalnya nanti saat ini belum punya jabatan fungsional, bisa segera diurus. Nanti urusannya bisa dengan saya juga, nanti bisa dengan melalui Bu Eva juga ya. Kemudian di sini ada NKP untuk kepangkatan golongan. Kalau untuk kepangkatan seperti ini. Kalau golongannya 3A, skornya 4, 3B 4, 3C 5 dan seterusnya. Nah, ini kita asumsikan di sini saya mencantumkan nilai yang minimal karena asumsinya ini terutama konsumsi untuk Bapak Ibu yang belum ikut Sertos. Saya asumsikan rata-rata kemungkinan ini posisinya asisten ahli. Walaupun ada juga yang belum Sertos tapi jabatan akademiknya lebih dari ini. Kalau misalnya lebih dari 4 itu akan menguntungkan untuk penilaian yang lain. Nah, kemudian yang berikutnya adalah penilaian persepsional. Persepsional ini penilaian dari 5 mahasiswa dan 3 dosen. Penilaian tentang diri kita sendiri. Nah, skalanya antara 1 sampai 7. Nah, nilai ini kita tidak bisa mengendalikan orang lain. Sekalipun kita misalnya tahu siapa yang akan menilai kita bilang sama orangnya, tolong dong, saya nilainya dibikin bagus. Tapi kan kita tidak bisa mengendalikan seperti itu, karena bisa saja dia menilai kita ini berapa di antara skala sampai 7. Maka saya coba di sini asumsikan 6 itu berarti sudah bagus. Jadi kalau ada yang menilai kita cuman average aja, rata-rata lah, kadang-kadang bagus, kadang-kadang kurang bagus misalnya, kan bisa kurang dari 6. Ini kita asumsikan 6 saja. 6 itu berarti penilaian dari dosen dan mahasiswa rata-rata semuanya cukup bagus karena skalanya dari 1 sampai 7. Nah, kemudian ini saya asumsikan ada kemampuan bahasa Inggris, ada kemampuan dasar akademik. Nah, kemampuan dasar akademik ini TKBA. Ini kalau saya memperhatikan teman-teman dosen itu punya bakatan sendiri-sendiri. Ada yang menurut saya dosen tersebut cerdas gitu, tapi ternyata begitu tes TKBA nilainya kecil. Ada juga yang kelihatannya bagaimana gitu ya, dalam bahasanya menurut saya cukup bagus, tapi ketika tes nilainya kecil. Nah, mungkin karena belum tahu trik-triknya gitu barangkali. Nah, di sini kita asumsikan yang 4-nya oke, yang NAP-nya 4, NKP-nya 4, ini yang paling bawah ya. Terus kemudian penilaian persepsional NPS ini rata-rata dianggap saja 6. Kemudian bahasa Inggris 3, TKDA 3. Saya mencoba membahas yang TKDA dulu karena untuk TKBI nanti akan lebih banyak dan akan lebih nyambung nanti dengan materi hari ini. Nah, di TKDA TKDA di sini ada konversinya. Nanti ada skornya seperti ini. Jika kurang dari 388, angkanya 1 nilainya. Terus ada range seperti ini ya, 388 sampai 447, 2 dan seterusnya. Ini nilai ini apa namanya? Kalau yang sudah pernah mungkin paham ya TKDA itu seperti apa. Tapi kalau ada yang belum tahu, kira-kiranya itu ada kemampuan dalam hal logika. Logika itu misalnya jika ada perbandingan atap terus rumah gitu. Terus kalau titik-titik kepala, maka titik-titiknya apa? Jadi kalau pakai logika topi gitu ya. Nah, itu untuk logika. Nanti untuk ada figural juga. Ada gambar dibolak-balik nanti seperti apa. Nah, figural ini banyak yang teman-teman yang gagal juga karena kemampuan untuk visualnya kurang. Ini untuk TKDA. Kemudian kalau kembali lagi ke simulasi, nah kemudian sekarang, nah saya menyampaikan karena di sini TKDA ini skornya antara 1 sampai 7 juga. Jadi saya mencoba menilainya rata-rata anggap aja 3 atau 4 lah. Kalau teman-teman rata-rata nilai TKDA itu sekitar 3-4 kalau saya lihat waktu kemarin. Nah ini TKDA misalnya anggap aja 3 gitu ya misalnya. Nah terus bahasa Inggrisnya berarti harus berapa? Nah jumlah antara NBI dan NPA itu minimal harus 6. Minimal harus 6 jika posisi di atas, yang NPS yang ini di atas 6. Misalnya di sini 6,01. Ini baru bisa lulus jika NPS-nya 6,01. Nah, dengan syarat NBI dan NPA ini totalnya minimal harus 6 baru bisa lulus. Karena ini di balik 00 ini 4,00 itu masih ada angka ini termasuk lulus. Tapi ini sangat pas-pasan. Nah, ini coba kita lihat yang bahasa Inggris. Yang bahasa Inggrisnya, nah ini mudah-mudahan terlihat. Ini kalau kurang jelas. Nah, kalau bahasa Inggris itu ada TOEFL. Jadi untuk bahasa Inggris itu boleh menggunakan TOEFL, boleh pakai IELTS, TOEFL dan seterusnya. Seperti yang ada di tabel ini dengan range skornya seperti ini. Jika misalnya TOEFL-nya menggunakan cara yang ITP ini juga saya kurang paham, nanti mungkin Bu Is bisa menjelaskan nanti. Di sini ada range-nya. Jika range-nya misalnya 430 misalnya, berarti dapat nilainya 3. Kalau nilainya 400. Kalau nilainya 500 misalnya. Kalau 500 pas ke 4. Jadi kalau disimulasikan di sini di sininya 4 itu. Baru lulus. Cuman kan yang akan masalah jika di sini misalnya dari persepsional ternyata 5. Nah, bisa gagal walaupun bahasa Inggrisnya 4. Jadi bahasa Inggris dan tes potensi akademik ini perlu di upgrade gitu ya. Nah ini nanti kemudian dari bahasa Inggris ini dari nilai yang kita dapatkan ini harus diinput di sistem. Input di sistem itu nanti akan divalidasi seperti contohnya di sistemnya seperti ini. Ini ada salah satu saya capture dari salah satu dosen itu waktu itu dapat ikut TOEFL, nilainya kecil, kemudian dia ikut TOEFL, alhamdulillah lulus. Nah ini ada tulisan valid dan sudah diklaim. Valid dan sudah diklaim itu maksudnya valid itu yang siapa yang mengatakan valid, itu dari dikti, bukan kita. Jadi kalau kita misalnya ikut tes tapi penyelenggaranya bukan yang dianggap resmi oleh pemerintah, yang abal-abal lah misalnya dalam tanda kutip, atau perguruan tinggi kita menyelenggarakan pretest TOEFL misalnya, itu tidak bisa dianggap karena itu nanti akan divalidasi oleh pemerintah. Nah seperti ini penyelenggaranya yang apa IES Foundation, penyelenggaranya ini setelah dicek sertifikatnya, kemudian dikti menyatakan valid. Nah ini kalau nanti di sini ada, kalau ikut Serdos di sisar ini, yang pertama akan valid dulu, setelah valid nanti akan diklaim oleh dosennya. Maksudnya bahwa nilai ini yang akan dipakai untuk ikut Serdos. Ini kenapa istilah klaim ini? Karena bisa saja dosen ikut tesnya banyak, ikut TOEFL iya, TOEFL iya, ikut tes yang lain iya. Nah yang akan dimajukan untuk nilai Serdos yang mana? Nah perlu diketahui nilai ini sifatnya portofolio. Jadi tidak sekalipun di situ ditulis berlaku selama 2 tahun. Nah kalau dipakai lebih dari 2 tahun untuk Serdos masih bisa, termasuk yang TKDA. Tapi kalau kita menjaga kekhawatiran ada perubahan regulasi dari pemerintah, mungkin bagus juga kalau kita mengikuti sesuai dengan masa berlaku di sertifikatnya. Kalau ini contoh tampilan di sisternya jika sudah lulus, misalnya seperti yang tadi saya bilang NPS itu yang di atas ini. NPS itu rata-rata dari sisi pedagogi dan nilainya seperti ini. Ini rata-rata 6,3 yang saya bilang tadi, penilaian dari 5 mahasiswa dan 3 dosen itu seperti ini hasil rata-rata yang dihitung oleh sister. Jadi nanti akan lulus dari sisi NPS. Kemudian ada komponen yang lain, ada NAP itu yang tadi yang Jafung, jabatan fungsional asisten ahli itu 4, kemudian golongan ruangan pangkat 3A itu masuk ke sini, keempat juga dari NPS yang penilaian dari mahasiswa 5 mahasiswa dan 3 dosen. Kemudian yang kemampuan bahasa Inggris ini kemarin ada yang dapatnya 2, kemudian NPA-nya 3. Nah yang jadi masalah kan jika kemampuan dasar akademiknya kecil, bahasa Inggris kecil, makanya kita harus kejar semuanya gitu. Semuanya ikut, bagaimana supaya kemampuan akademik tinggi, bahasa Inggris pun tinggi, dan masing-masing pasti ada trik-triknya. Nah itu yang perlu kita gali ya. Ini yang dari tahap D5 nanti tahap D4, kemudian tahap D5 seperti ini. Jadi intinya nanti ada penilaian secara keseluruhan. Baik, mungkin dari saya sementara yang saya bisa sampaikan, mungkin lebih banyak dialog lebih bagus mungkin. Oke, terima kasih, silakan.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Teddy atas paparannya ya, sehingga tadi sudah dapat memberikan gambaran kenapa nilai dari berbagai macam tes bahasa Inggris termasuk TOEFL menjadi bagian yang penting ya bagi mahasiswa tentu ketika akan melanjutkan kuliahnya, dan bahkan bisa jadi nanti ada ketentuan bahwa untuk dapat sidang skripsi atau sidang tugas akhir harus juga memiliki standar tertentu di dalam pencapaian tes bahasa Inggris. Nah, yang kedua tadi juga disampaikan komponen dari bahasa Inggris menjadi poin yang penting di dalam penilaian kelulusan di dalam sertifikasi dosen. Nah, mengingat Ibu Ois sudah menyiapkan berbagai materi terkait dengan TOEFL, maka sudah saatnya kepada beliau untuk menyajikan kiat-kiat atau trik-trik bagaimana menyelesaikan soal-soal yang ada di dalam tes-tes TOEFL, sehingga diharapkan dengan penyajian dari Bu Ois, para peserta bisa mengambil hal positifnya pada saat nanti berhadapan dengan tes-tes sejenis. Kepada Bu Ois, waktu kami persilakan untuk menyampaikan paparan berkaitan dengan kiat sukses TOEFL bagi dosen dan mahasiswa. Mangga Bu.
Yeah, thank you Pak Niantoro and Pak Teddy. First of all, let me share the screen first. I have already prepared the slideshow for today's webinar. Please give me a moment. Pak Toro, can you see the screen that I share?
Masih belum nampak, Bu.
Oh, still
loading saja. Ya, still loading.
Berjemur tinggal foto jemur. Tapi di foto jemur doang.
I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. My laptop is not working well today because I'm not in Cikarang, so probably the signal is not too strong. I'm fine. Okay, yeah. The presentation is up. All right. Okay, please give me a couple of more minutes.
Itu doang kan gak ada yang nulis-nulis.
Alright, while waiting for my screen to be clearly seen, let me begin our webinar today by greeting all of you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning,
Miss.
How are you all?
I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you.
I would like to say thank you for attending this webinar. The title is about how to achieve the target of the TOEFL score. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever taken TOEFL test before?
No.
No.
Yes.
Do you have any idea? Yes. Some of you have taken it already, some of you not yet. So, do you have any idea what TOEFL is? Okay, yeah. Do you have any idea what TOEFL is?
Ada semua kemarin ada semua di situ. Itu kayaknya ada nggak kelihatan tuh Kak? Merah itu Kak. Nih. Merah itu Kak.
Okay, Yeah. Hello, are you still there with me?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Right. So, before we do the simulation of the TOEFL test, please allow me to inform you about the several English tests. In Indonesia, there are about 3 popular English tests that we know. The first one is TOEIC, the second one TOEFL, and the last one is IELTS. As you know that TOEIC stands for Test of English for International Communication. It is intended for those who want to work in English-speaking countries. So, for example, you want to work in Australia or you want to work in Singapore, take TOEIC test. And if you want to study in English-speaking countries such as America, Canada, you need to take TOEFL test. While IELTS is usually used in Commonwealth countries such as United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia. So what are the differences among those kinds of tests? Basically, the purpose are quite similar. So for example, TOEIC is intended for those who wants to work. TOEFL is intended for those who study, while IELTS is intended both, whether to study or for work. And TOEFL, they are American product, while IELTS is a British product. So IELTS is divided into 2. They are academic and also general IELTS. So for IELTS for academic, it is intended for those who wants to study, and then for general, it is for working. Yeah. And according to if we talk about the fee that you need to pay, TOEIC is the cheapest one. Why? Because it costs you around, I think, around the range. The range is between 300 to 600,000 rupiah, and it covers 2 skills only: listening and reading. Can be listening or writing, so depends on the purpose. For TOEFL is more expensive compared to TOEIC. Why? Because it covers 3 to 4 skills, not only listening and reading, but also a structure, and can be with speaking and also writing. Well, IELTS, if I'm not mistaken, IELTS is the most expensive test compared to TOEIC and TOEFL. Why? Because it covers all skills: listening, reading, writing, and also speaking. Not only the most expensive one, IELTS is also the most difficult one. Why? Because if you are not familiar with those kinds of tests, IELTS is the most difficult one, because they use British English. So if you like watching Harry Potter or Lord of the Ring, they use British accent. That's why IELTS is the most difficult and also the most expensive one. And please keep in your mind, those kinds of tests, the certificate is valid up to 2 years only. So if you take these kinds of tests in this year, let's say today is 2020, so you need to renew your certificate in the next 2 years. So in 2023, if you need another test, you need to retake this test. So even though your score is quite high, let's say you got 7.5 for IELTS, it's not valid forever. Yeah? It is valid for 2 years only. Okay, and for lecturers, you can also take TOEIC test. Yeah? TOEIC stands for TOEP. Yeah? It spells TOEP. It stands for Test of English Proficiency. And there is a differentiation between TOEFL and TOEIC. For TOEFL consists of 200 questions, and you need to answer all of the questions in 2 hours. While TOEIC consists of 100 questions only, and you need to do it in just an hour. Okay? And for IELTS, as I mentioned earlier, that IELTS is the most difficult one. Why? Because the questions are not in multiple choices. Yeah, the question is filled in the blanks, and then essay, and also what? 50, you need to choose the best answer. So it's not multiple choice. Yeah. TOEIC and TOEFL, they are easy because all of the questions are multiple choices. If you have no idea about the best answer, what answer should you choose, you just you can use your feeling, yeah, or you can count the button of your shirt. So that's why TOEIC and TOEFL are are easier compared to IELTS. Okay, and during the pandemic, there is a good news. If you want to study in English-speaking country, let's say you want to continue your studies in United Kingdom, they are not. The IELTS is not only the requirement. If you cannot take IELTS test, you can now it's called Duolingo. So you can take Duolingo test. The price is cheaper, and also the questions are much easier, and the venue is flexible because you can do it online. Okay. Yeah. I think that is all about the English test. Now we move on to the simulation of TOEFL test. Yeah. TOEFL stands for Test of English for Foreign Language. So today we are going to do the simulation, how to answer those questions. We are going to discuss about 3 skills. The first one is structure. The second one is reading, and the last one is listening. Please take a look at the structure. Can you see my screen clearly? Everyone, just to make sure.
Yes,
Alright, thank you. So please take a look at for your information, I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. If you see a noise at the background, I do apologize. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So,
okay, Miss.
for your information, if you have any question during my presentation, you can later at the end of our session there will be a QA answer session, yeah, question and answer session. So there are 2 ways to question. First, you can directly by raising up your hand, and then the second one you can ask on chat room. So if you have any question at the moment, you can type a question at the chat room, and later I will try to answer it at the end of the session. Okay. So now, please take a look at the screen. We are going to discuss about the structure. In skill 1, the topic is you need to be sure that the sentence has a subject and a verb. So in a sentence, the sentence is in a sentence there should be at least one subject and one verb. Please take a look at the first example. This example is taken from a paper and computer TOEFL test. The sentence is not complete yet, so all you have to do is choose the best answer. Please take a look at the example 1. Blah 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 was backed up for miles on the freeway. All you have to do is you need to find out whether the sentence has a subject or and a verb. Can you find a subject in this sentence?
Yeah.
No, right? Can you see the verb in the sentence? Yes, the verb is backed, but the subject is missing. So all you have to do is you need to find out the missing subject. There are 4 options here: A, B, C, and D. So the best answer for this question is A. Yesterday, the answer for this question is C. Traffic was backed up for miles on the freeway. Yeah? And then the second example, engineers blah 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 for work on the new space program. Because the focus is on the subject and the verb, so you need to find out whether there is a subject and the verb. You can find the subjects. The subjects are engineers, and then you cannot find the verb, so that's why you need to find out The missing verb. The missing verb here is, as you can see, there are option A, option B, option C, and option D. The missing verb, the best answer for example 2 is B, are needed. Need, this is a passive voice. Yeah. Engineers are needed for work on the new space program. So the best answer for example 2 is B. Now, please look at the exercise 1. As you can see the tips in the chart, subjects and verbs, a sentence in English must have at least one subject and one verb. In the exercise 1, 2 numbers have been done for you. Number 1 is incorrect. Yeah. Why number 1 is incorrect? Because there is no subject, missing subject. In that sentence, there is a verb only, no subject. That's why number 1 is incorrect. While number 2 is correct because they have got a subject, not only subject but also they have the verb. Yeah, the verb can be obtained. Now, I want you, because we have limited time, please take a look at number 3, 4, and 5. Please try to identify whether the sentence is correct or not by typing on chat room number 3, 4, and 5. For example, number 3 in your opinion is correct. So write down letter C. Or for example, number 4 is incorrect. Write down letter I. And number 5, for example, is correct. So write down letter C. I'll give you time around, how many minutes? Yeah, I think 3 minutes enough. Please read carefully those questions, number 3, 4, and 5. And then type your answers on chat room. Identify those sentences, yeah, and then I will tell you the answer for the sentences. Okay, 3 minutes begin from now.
Ayamnya ntar gimana, Mas? Nanti dipegang aja kalau ayam. Kalau ayam pegang. Kalau beli ayam dulu. Kalau mau beli. Tapi aku yang jangan lupa beli ayam dulu baru ke Anjani.
Okay, finish? Everyone? Finish, miss. Okay, please take a look at number 3. Take a look at number 3. In your opinion, is that sentence correct or incorrect?
Bisa.
Incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Why is it incorrect? What is missing? What is missing in sentence 3? Subject is. Subject. There is a subject. The verb. Yeah. Yes. Number 3 is incorrect because missing verb. The correct sentence should be a job on the day shift or the night shift at the plant is available. So missing verb is missing here. That's why number 3 is incorrect. Now please take a look at number 4. What do you think? Is number 4 correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Yeah, number 4 is incorrect. Why number 4 is incorrect? Because it has double verbs. Yeah, double verbs and provide. Yeah, you need to omit one of them. Or if you insist to use both of those verbs, you need to change the other verb into verb 3. So after has should be followed by past participle. Not provide, but has provided. Okay, yeah. Number 5. Number 5, is it correct or incorrect? Correct. Yes, correct. Okay, well done everyone. We have discussed about structure. Now we move on to the next slide about reading. Yeah, about reading. The slide is not too clear. Okay. In reading, we are going to discuss about main idea. So how to answer main idea questions correctly. In this example, it has one paragraph only, so it's still easy for you. I'll give you time about 1 minute to read the passage silently within your heart, and then we are going to discuss about the question. Yeah.
Kalau udah lama kamu makan apa dulu? Buat sendiri dulu nanti beli. Bukan kokor. Kan bahaya, Umi nggak mau ninggalin terus kamu main aku. Nanti aku kunci rumahnya terus aku bisa main. Adiknya ikut.
Okay. As you can see, the question of this example is what is the topic of this passage? If the question asking about main idea, there are several types of questions. It may begin by asking about topic. It can also ask about main idea, or sometimes they use what is the best title for this question. Or they ask about author's opinion. So those are example of several questions for main idea. And what's the topic of this passage? Sorry, can you
Distinction of
unmute? Would you please mute your computer because I'm afraid that my voice will not be heard by other participants if you make any noise. Okay. Mr. Dirman, can you help me to mute the participant who make a noise? Yeah. All right. So the question is, what is the topic of this passage? There are 4 options there. Option A, B, C, and D. But unfortunately, it seems I cannot see option C and D because on my screen it covered by some text. So I will read out option C and option D. Option C is Dewey's ideas on the ability to reason. And then option D is how intelligence differs from reasoning in Dewey's work. How to answer main idea questions correctly? You can find the answer in the first sentence or in the first line of each paragraph, because there is one paragraph only in this passage. So take a look at the first sentence and also the first line of this text. Yeah. What is the topic of this passage? The best answer, as you can see, yeah, the clue are the underlined words. So the best answer is D. How intelligence differs from reasoning in Dewey's works. The option is not stated clearly. I mean, it's not exactly the same as what you see in the text. They use the synonym. Okay? So, the first sentence here, in the philosophy of John Dewey, a sharp distinction is made between intelligence and reasoning. And the answer is D, how intelligence differs from reasoning in Dewey's works. Distinction has the similar meaning with differs. So that's why not only look at the first sentence or the first line of each paragraph, but also try to find out the synonym. The synonym means the words which has the same or the similar meaning with the text. Now I will show some practices of the passage. Please hold on. I'm trying to change the screen.
Kalau yang B dari O arah orang tua, C aku orang tua. Ini A guru, B orang tua, C teman. Jadi yang mana? Tulis. B.
What's wrong with my laptop? I cannot click to the next slide. Pak Teddy, what should I do? I cannot move on to the next slide. Shall I stop sharing first or wait until it responds?
A and anak, Kak anak. Yang esposo apa?
Stop sharing aja, Miss.
Stop sharing.
Anak yang sopan, titik-titik orang tua. A dipuji, B dimanja, C disayang. Jadi anak yang sopan itu sayang.
Okay, let me try to stop first.
Berarti yang mana? Aku tahu kan? Aku tahu. Aku nggak mandi. Pasti kok yang di dalam.
Okay. Yeah, let me try to share the screen again.
Jangan main itu, please.
Okay, let me try to share the screen again. Can you see my screen now?
Ya, bisa. Cuma kurang 11 aja. Kurang besar.
Oh, alright. I will try to make it bigger then. So on the screen is the exercise for reading skill. There are two questions, and the passage consists of 2 paragraphs. So I'll give you time about 4 minutes to answer those questions. One question should be done for 2 minutes then. 2 minutes for each question, and then we will discuss.
Hurricane Jerry occurs in the North Atlantic from May through November, with peak activity in September. Only they occur from December to April. The main reason for the occurrence during
Okay, let me try to explain this exercise. There are 2 questions here. The first one is asking about the passage, mainly discusses. What is your answer, ladies and gentlemen? Is it option A, option C, or option D? Remember, okay, please wait for a moment. Remember, the tips to do this skill, you need to find out the answer in the first line or in the first sentence of each paragraph. So for number 5, what is your answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? Because I cannot see the chat room. I'm sorry.
According to me, number 5 is A.
For number 6, B. Okay. What about another participants? Anyone wants to tell me your opinion for number 5 and 6? No? Okay then, let me explain. For number 5, unfortunately, the answer is not A, but the best answer is D, delta. Why? Please take a look. Probably you, just now, one of participants said A, probably because she thought that the hurricanes generally occur from May through November. It is incorrect. Why? Because in option A, the statement is how many hurricanes occur each year. While in the first line, it didn't state or it didn't mention the number of hurricanes happen. Only the period of time from May through November. We have no idea how many times the hurricane happens during May and November period. That's why the statement A or option A is incorrect. But the best answer for number 5 is D, delta. Hurricanes one part of the world. So B is correct. Yeah. Option B is also incorrect because it didn't discuss or it didn't describe about how strong the hurricanes is. And then option C is also incorrect, even though probably you see North Atlantic there, but we are not talking about weather. Yeah, we are talking about hurricanes generally occur in the North Atlantic from May through November with the peak of the hurricane season. Yeah, we are talking about season, not weather. So that's why number 5 is D. Hurricanes in one part of the world. Even though it is not stated clearly, the place where hurricanes happens. Yeah, in the North Atlantic, but they can say it is North Atlantic is in one part of the world. That's why number 5 is D. And then for number 6, yes, the best answer for number 6 is B. Storms. Yeah, the best title for this passage would be B. Storms of the Northern Atlantic. Storms means hurricane. Yeah, hurricanes is the strong storms, the wild storms. And for your information, sometimes to make you confused, to get you distracted, the answer is not exactly the same as it is stated in the text in the passage. So you need to find out the alternative also. Sometimes they paraphrase. Paraphrase means they use another words but which has similar meaning with the passage. Yeah? Okay, so this is about the reading. We have this, so far we have discussed structure at the beginning, and then we just now discuss about reading. Now we move on to the last one, listening. In listening, skill 1, we need to focus on the last line. Yeah? On the last line. Okay, on the recording, oh, I'm really sorry, I cannot see the option D. Let me open on my phone first. Listening. Listening skill 7. Wait. Yeah. Okay. As you can see on the screen, yeah, on the recording, in skill 1, it is a short dialogue between two people, sometimes man and woman. Yeah.
Miss
The man-
Ace, sorry, Miss Ace.
Yes, sir.
Itu kotak yang serinya diturunin ke bawah supaya nggak nutupi option D-nya.
Oh,
Hide, Miss. Hide.
oh
Atau
hide
di
ya.
hide.
Okay. Alright. Can you see clearly now?
Okay, great.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, yeah. So, the man said, Billy really a big mistake this time. And then the woman replied, yes, he forgot to turn in his research paper. And then the narrator or the question is, what does the woman say about Billy? In your textbook or on the computer screen, you read there are 4 options. And as you know, the best answer is D. He didn't remember to submit his assignment. Why the best option is D? Because all you have to do is focus on the last line. And also, they use the synonym word
Coba Abi di
here.
kamar, Mi.
The last line is, yes, he forgot to turn in his research paper.
Kakak, itu
Forgot
Kak.
means didn't remember. And then turn in another word is submit. Research paper, we also can say assignment. That's why the best answer is D. He didn't remember to submit his assignment. And in listening, you need to pay more attention. You need to have extra effort. You need to do multitasking. You need to do double jobs, double actions. Why? Because not only listen to the audio, but your eyes need to read the answer and try to find out the possible or the best answer as well. So while you listen to the audio, while your ears are trying to listen to the audio, your eyes need to look at the possible answer on the textbook or on the question paper. Yeah? So that's why I know it is not easy, practicing, I believe you can do it. Yeah. So no need for you to understand the whole dialogue. If you miss the first line, it doesn't matter. If you do not understand the first dialogue, it's also not a big deal. Because mostly or the answer can be found usually probably can be found right. Okay. Now please take a look at the exercise 1. There are 3 examples there. It's not audio yet. Later we will practice by using the audio, but try to use the textbook first. Yeah. Please take a look at question number 1, number 2, and number 3. I'll give you time 3 minutes to try to find out the best answer, and then we will discuss. Okay, let's try to discuss the answer. We start from number 1. Number 1, the man asked, "Can you tell me if today's movie is a comedy, romance, or western?" And the woman replied, "I have no idea." The question is, what does the woman mean? Can you guess the answer for question number 1? Is it option A, option B, option C, or option D? Sorry? Yep, D. Yeah. The answer is D. It's easy. You just focus on the last line. The woman said, "I have no idea." I have no idea. It means she doesn't know. Yeah. Next, number 2. Was anyone at home at Barb's house when you went there to deliver the package? The man replied, "I rang the bell, but no one answered." What does the man reply? The answer for number 2, is it A, B, C, or D? Bravo. Bravo. Yeah. The house was probably answered because the man said, "I rang the bell, but no one answered." Probably no one in the house. Yeah, the house probably empty. And then number 3, you just got back from the interview for the internship. How do you think it went? I think it's highly unlikely that I got the job. The answer is C. Yeah, very good. The interview was apparently quite unsuccessful because the man said, "I think it's highly unlikely." Unlikely, it means it seems that he will not be hired. Okay, it seems easy because you can read the questions and the answers on the screen. But in the real test, yeah, the script or the script of the audio is not available on the textbook, yeah, because the questions are mentioned in the audio only. Now please look at the screen. There are 8 numbers there. I will play the audio. Try to find out the answer Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm ready.
Yes. Okay, good then. I will play and try to find out the answer, ya.
TOEFL Exercise 1, page 30. In this exercise, listen carefully to each short dialogue and question on the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should focus carefully on the last line. Number 1.
How soon will you be leaving?
I'm on my way now. What does the man mean? Number 2. Was Steve able to get into the house?
I left the door unlocked for him.
What does the woman assume Steve did? Number 3. The dinner special is roast turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy, and apple pie for dessert.
That doesn't sound good to me.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
Could you help me with my physics homework tonight? I'm really having trouble with it.
Sorry, I'm busy tonight. What does the man imply? Number 5. What did you think of Professor Martin's lecture on the migratory habits of whales?
I couldn't keep my eyes open.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
Have this month's bills been paid, or is that something we need to take care of now?
I paid the phone and electricity, but not the credit card. What does the man mean? Number 7. Will you be able to get back from running all your errands by 4 o'clock?
I'll be back as quickly as I can.
What does the woman say that she'll do? Number 8. Have you seen Tim? I really need to talk with him about the phone bill.
Well, he was here just a minute ago.
What does the woman say about Tim?
Okay, because this is only simulation and we still have much time, so I will replay the file from the beginning in case some numbers that you haven't answered yet, so you can rehear it. You can listen one more time.
TOEFL Exercise 1, page 30. In this exercise, listen carefully to each short dialogue and question on the recording, and then choose the best answer to the question. You should focus carefully on the last line. Number 1.
How soon will you be leaving?
I'm on my way now. What does the man mean? Number 2. Was Steve able to get into the house?
I left the door unlocked for him.
What does the woman assume Steve did? Number 3.
turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy and apple pie for dessert.
That doesn't sound good to me.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
Could you help me with my physics homework tonight? I'm really having trouble with it.
Sorry, I'm busy tonight.
What does the man imply? Number 5.
What did you think of Professor Martin's lecture on the migratory habits of whales?
I couldn't keep my eyes open.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
Have this month's bills been paid, or is that something we need to take care of now?
I paid the phone and electricity, but not the credit cards.
What does the man mean? Number 7.
Will you be able to get back from running all your errands by 4 o'clock?
I'll be back as quickly as I can.
What does the woman say that she'll do? Number 8.
Have you seen Tim? I really need to talk with him about the phone bill.
Well, he was here just a minute ago.
What does the woman say about Tim?
Okay, let's discuss the answer one by one. We start from number 1. What is your answer for number 1? Is it option A, B, C, or D? A. Yes, the answer is A. Yeah, the answer is A. Alpha. I will play number 1. Please focus on the last line. Yeah, focus on the last line. Listen.
In this exercise, listen carefully to each short dialogue and question from the recording, and then choose the best answer for the question. You should focus carefully on the last line. Number 1.
I'm on my way now.
What does the man mean?
Yeah, the last line is I'm on my way now. Yeah, I'm on my way now. That's why the best answer for number 1 is A, alpha. What about number 2? What is your answer for number 2?
Delta.
No, not delta.
B.
No, not B.
C.
Yes, the answer is C. We're about to open the door. Listen carefully one more time for number 2. Yeah, I will replay number 2. Listen up, listen up.
Was Steve able to get into the house?
I left the door unlocked for him.
Yeah.
What does the woman assume Steve did?
The woman said, I left the door unlocked for him. So we assume if the woman left the door unlocked for him, he was able to open the door. No need for him to bring the key because he can open the door directly. That's why the best answer for number 2 is C, Charlie. Yeah. What about number 3? What is your answer for number 3?
D.
Yeah, D. Delta. Yeah. Listen one more time. Yeah. Number 3 is D, delta. Please listen one more time.
Number 3.
Dinner special is roast turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy and apple pie for dessert.
That doesn't sound good to me.
What does the woman mean?
Yeah, the woman said, that doesn't sound good to me. It means the woman doesn't like that dinner. She wants to have another dinner. In other words, she said she would prefer a different dinner. Yeah, roast turkey. Turkey is not the name of a country. Turkey is a popular dish in America during the festive. Yeah, so it's like in Indonesia we have opor in Lebaran. So in America, in I don't know what special occasion, yeah. In special occasion, they usually have the turkey. Turkey means ayam kalkun. Yeah. Okay. Next, number 4. What is your answer for number 4? Yes. Bravo, yeah. Bravo. Listen one more time. Yeah.
Number 4.
Could you help me with my physics homework tonight? I'm really having trouble with it.
Sorry, I'm busy tonight.
What does the man imply?
Yeah, the man said, sorry, I'm busy tonight. It means the man cannot help her tonight. Yeah? The man or he cannot help her tonight. So number 4 is B. What about number 5? What is your answer for number 5? C. No, C, yeah, Charlie, yeah. C, Charlie, listen up. Listen for number 5.
Number 5.
What did you think of Professor Martin's lecture on the migratory habits of whales?
I couldn't keep my eyes open.
What does the woman mean?
Yeah, the woman said, I could not keep my eyes open. It means the class was boring. The woman cannot open her eyes. Probably she is sleepy because the class was boring. Hopefully all the participants here could keep your eyes open widely during this webinar. Yeah. Hopefully I do not make you boring. Okay. Next, number 6. What is your answer for number 6? Yes. A. Yeah. Number 6 is A. Listen one more time.
Number 6.
Have this month's bills been paid, or is that something we need to take care of now?
I paid the phone and electricity, but not the credit cards.
What does the man mean?
Yeah, the man said, I paid the phone and the electricity, but not credit card. So it means not all the bills have been paid. There are 3 kinds of bills: phone, electricity, and credit card. Only 2 of them are paid by the man. Credit card, not yet. So the answer for number 6 is A. Not all the bills have been paid. Number 7, what is your answer for number 7? Yeah. Yeah. Delta. She will try to return fast. Listen one more time.
Number 7.
Will you be able to get back from running all your errands by 4 o'clock?
I'll be back as quickly as I can.
What does the woman say that she'll do?
Yeah, the woman said, I'll be back as soon as she can. It means she will try to return fast. Yeah. So number 7 is D, Delta. And the last number, what is the answer for number 8? C. Yeah, C, Charlie. Listen one more time.
Number 8.
Have you seen Tim? I really need to talk with him about the phone.
He was here just a minute ago.
What does the woman say about him?
Yeah, the woman said he was here a minute ago. It means he was around, but now he is no longer there. Yeah. So that's why the answer for number 8 is C. Tim was around a short time ago, but he's gone now. Okay, that is.
TOEFL exercise 1,
sorry.
page 30.
Yeah. That is the end of the simulation of our today's webinar. If you have any question, please feel free to type your questions on chat room, or you can raise up your hand and you can ask me directly. And before we have a question and answer session, I do apologize for the inconvenience. Probably you cannot hear you cannot hear my voice clearly, or you cannot hear the audio clearly because some noise in the crowd. I'm really sorry because here it's a crowded place. So between neighbors is here, so you can hear the voice of the motorcycle, or children are talking and adults are keep talking with each other. So I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. So now I would like the session to the moderator, and he will conduct the webinar for now. Ya, Pak Tor, back to you.
Baik, terima kasih Bu Ais atas apa yang sudah disampaikan dari materi yang tadi, mulai dari structure, reading, dan juga listening. Ya. Nah, kini kita tiba pada sesi pertanyaan. Untuk yang akan bertanya, silakan sampaikan di chat ataupun emoji raise hand, ya. Acungkan tangan emojinya atau dituliskan di chat. Kita tunggu, silakan kepada Bapak, Bu, dan juga para peserta lain apabila ada pertanyaan. Ada yang mau bertanya?
Ibu. Ya, ada.
Oke, silakan Pak Amin Fatoni, ya.
Ya.
Silakan disampaikan.
Ibu.
Ya, silakan langsung saja, Pak.
How can identify the inversion? Sometimes in structure there is inversion. Can you tell me the inversion?
Inversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it will make me confused. What is? Thank you.
Well.
Langsung jawab saja, Bu, sambil menanti pertanyaan lagi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Amin, for the question. Well, actually, for today's simulation, we only discuss the basic skill, only skill 1. For inversion, it is discussed in the advanced skill 5 or 7, if I'm not mistaken. So inverted verb and inverted subject, when you can invert the verb and when you can invert the subject. Invert, it means you change the position or you change the structure of the verb and the sentence. Usually, the verb and the subject. Usually you put the subject at the beginning of the sentence, but sometimes you can switch the position into verb first. You put the verb in the first place and then the subject come later. So I'm sorry, I cannot discuss here because it takes time and it needs more explanation. Later the moderator will tell you what you need to do to join the TOEFL preparation with Laura Consulting, ya. Because I'm really sorry for this simulation. We will discuss basic skill only about skill 1. So for inversion, for inverted verb and speech will be discussed later in the next skill. Thank you, Mr. Amin, ya.
Terima kasih, Bu Alif.
Yes, you're welcome.
Terima kasih Pak Amin juga, ya. Jadi Boy tadi hanya menjawab gambaran umum saja karena memang webinar kali ini hanya bertemakan basic skill saja, ya, belum pada tahap-tahap lanjutan yang lebih tinggi lagi.
Pak Toro, I'm really sorry. I will add the answer for this question. Probably I will give you the example of inverted verb or inverted subject. Yeah. You can do inversion, for example, in the conditional sentence. As we know that in English there are 3 kinds of conditional sentences: first conditional, second conditional, and then the third conditional. So in the second conditional, it is to describe we use second conditional sentence to describe the unlikely situation, so the not real situation. We can do inversion. For example, we can say, if you had any questions or if you had further information, you should blah blah blah. So you can put should first at the beginning. Should you have further questions, you can contact blah 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 blah.
Baik.
Ya.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Ais untuk contoh yang sudah disampaikan berkaitan dengan pertanyaan Pak Amin Fatoni, yaitu perihal inversion, ya Bu ya.
Iya.
Oke. Pertanyaan selanjutnya, apakah ada yang mau disampaikan? Silakan kalau akan disampaikan. Untuk mengacungkan tangan atau menuliskan di setting ya. Siapa yang mau bertanya? Sudah terdengar ada suara-suara tanda-tanda mau bertanya? Kita tunggu 3 menit ya. Kalau tidak ada berarti apa yang disampaikan Bu Ais dapat disimpulkan, bisa dipahami sehingga tidak timbul pertanyaan-pertanyaan berkaitan dengan materi yang tadi disampaikan. Nah, sebagai informasi bahwa Bu Ais sebagai pemilik dari Laura Consulting sudah menyatakan bahwa bagi para peserta yang hadir di webinar kali ini, apabila akan kemudian meningkatkan kemampuan dalam TOEFL preparation, beliau memberikan diskon atau potongan 30%. Ya, nah mengenai informasi lebih detail barangkali nanti Bu Ais bisa sampaikan di grup peserta webinar sehingga bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu atau peserta lain yang punya keinginan untuk sukses dalam persiapan di dalam Cerdos itu bisa mengikuti TOEFL preparation dengan tentu ada potongan harga ya Bu ya, 30% ya.
Yes, sir. Okay, while waiting for another participants to ask question, I would like to tell you one more information. For achieving the higher target of TOEFL score, one tips from me, if you have since TOEFL questions are all multiple choices, so one tips from me, never ever leave the questions blank. It means even though you have no idea what the best answer is, just guess, just answer it. Yeah. Why? Because nothing to lose. Even if your answer is wrong, still you will not your score will not be deducted from your point. But if your question is if your answer is correct, you will get the point. So it's nothing to lose. Just answer it, even though you don't know the best answer. Okay, what the best answer is.
Oke, ada pertanyaan dari Ibu Tiurma Evarida Padang ya. Silakan Ibu Tiurma, ada pertanyaan, silakan untuk disampaikan.
Tidak Pak, maaf Pak.
Oh iya. Tidak ya. Tadi tips dari Bu Ais, prinsipnya isi saja. Ya, karena tidak dikurangi kalaupun salah.
Iya.
Dengan demikian, dari 4 kemungkinan jawaban, kalau kita ngisi, ada potensi 25%-nya benar. Daripada dibiarkan begitu saja, tidak ada potensi untuk jawaban yang benar. Sehingga prinsipnya adalah isi saja apapun jawabannya ketika mengalami kesulitan. Tentu harapannya memahami apa pertanyaan yang ada dan tidak mengalami kesulitan dalam menjawab. Tapi dalam kondisi mengalami kesulitan, daripada dikosongkan, lebih baik diisi saja jawaban-jawaban pada tes TOEFL atau TOEFL. Karena tidak ada pertanyaan lagi, barangkali Bu Ais ya, kita tadi sepakat tunggu 3 menit, ternyata tidak ada pertanyaan. Atau Bu Ais masih mau menyampaikan tips lainnya, barangkali ada yang tertinggal?
Well, yeah. You know what? In taking TOEFL test, there is you need to prepare many things. Learning English is not as easy as you think. Well, when you eat chili, you will feel spicy right at the moment. But when you learn English, it's not as easy as you flip the palm of your hand. So it takes time. Do not assume when you learn English. When you learn English, you will know the answer or you know you will be able to speak English fluently right away. So it takes time. Yeah. At the beginning, just now, Mr. Teddy already shared his experience when he was supervising the final assignment. So during the presentation, one of the students was able to speak English, full in English in his presentation. When he asked how could he speak English fluently, the student said that because he liked to learn English online. So first of all, you need to have motivation, of course. And then the second one, you need to change your mindset because you are what you think. If you think English is easy, it will be easy. If you think English is difficult, then it will be difficult. No matter how no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try, if your mindset is not changed yet, so still it will be difficult. And also how to know that our English is already mastered or not yet. I mean, how to measure your English skill? Well, my lecturer used to say that if you want to measure your English, look at your dream. When you are dreaming and you see yourself in your sleep speaking English, so your English is already excellent. But if you still dreaming in Bahasa Indonesia, you need to learn a lot. Okay. So do you see yourself speaking English in your dream?
Never.
Yeah. So that's only, I don't know whether it is true or not, but my lecturer used to tell me like that. So to measure your English ability, look at yourself in your dream, yeah. Okay, I think that is all from me, Mr. Toro, ya. Is there any other question?
Baik, terima kasih Bu. Tip terakhirnya ya. Jadi kalau mimpinya sudah menggunakan bahasa Inggris, maka dipastikan bahasa Inggrisnya sudah bagus Bu ya.
Seperti itu Pak.
Cukup menarik gitu ya tips yang terakhir. Baik, karena semua sesi sudah dilakukan dari mulai tadi pembukaan, kemudian ada keynote speaker dari Pak Teddy sebagai Kepala Bagian Pengembangan Dosen di L3I dan juga materi oleh Bu Is berkaitan dengan kiat sukses dalam TOEFL, serta pertanyaan-pertanyaan pun juga sudah disampaikan dan dijawab, termasuk di dalamnya ada tips. Maka dengan ini webinar diakhiri. Terima kasih untuk semua yang telah hadir, bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu, serta peserta-peserta lain. Tanpa kehadiran bapak-bapak dan ibu serta peserta lain, maka acara ini tidak akan berjalan dengan sukses. Dan kami mohon maaf apabila dalam pelaksanaannya terdapat gangguan teknis yang sedikit mengganggu kenyamanan bapak-bapak dan ibu sekalian. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya, kami mohon izin untuk keluar dari ini ya. Thank you Pak Dirman, thank you Pak Toro. Terima kasih Pak.
Bapak, thank you.
Terima kasih semuanya.